Well, today we are making a vegan funfetti cake with a bonus tutorial for the newest craze, buttercream drip. Yep, you heard me, that's buttercream, not chocolate or ganache. Well, this new technique for buttercream drip is going to change your cake making life. But first we have to make the funfetti cake, and I'm starting out with my white cake recipe. I do have a couple different options for you on my website at gretchensveganbakery.com, and I'll link to everything that I'm using for this recipe, including the sprinkles. I'm not sponsored, but I have found a pretty good deal for these vegan rainbow sprinkles. They're pretty affordable in a bulk container compared to everything I've seen up until now. But alternatively, you can actually make your own sprinkles. My recipe for vegan sprinkles works really great in funfetti cakes. So if you want to maybe control your colors and save money at the same time, this would be the way to go. You just need lots of time and patience, but otherwise it's a total breeze. All right, so into my preheated 350-degree Fahrenheit oven, my cakes are going. And one thing to note, no matter what sprinkles you're using, is that you want to be sure your oven is already preheated and ready to go, because the longer the sprinkles sit inside the batter, the more chance they have of bleeding into your cake batter. All right, now to get to the buttercream, and you're going to want to use an American style buttercream recipe, which is the best option for a buttercream drip. It's the easiest of all the recipes to make, and it is merely vegan butter, confectioner's sugar, and some flavorings. And this is going to do the best for a drip, since you do have to heat it to a drippable consistency. So using a Swiss or an Italian buttercream is not really going to be a great option. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's first ice up this cake. And I had my layers cooling in the refrigerator for a couple hours, which makes the cake building and icing process a much more pleasant experience. You're going to get way less crumbs, and there's less chance for the cake to slip and slide around if your cake is super cold and even semi-frozen. Don't worry, the cake will be completely thawed out by the time you have finished icing it. And as you see, I don't even have to do a crumb coat, which also makes this entire project much faster. But here is a pro trick on how to get super smooth sides in one pass if you have a blowtorch or a hair dryer, or simply dip your spatula into some super hot water. You can go ahead and ice those sides super smooth just with one spin of the turntable. All right, back into the refrigerator. This one goes for at least another hour, and now I can prep the icing for the drip. I'm going to be comparing my homemade buttercream recipe with the Betty Crocker canned icing, which happens to be accidentally vegan. So the consistency of both right out of the can, side by side, is really very different. And I tasted a spoonful of the Betty Crocker, and I'll be honest, it was shocking. I haven't had canned icing in forever, and either my tastes have really changed or I don't know, but I'll let you decide on that one. Anyway, we're going to get a drop of pink food color into both of them, and I've found this new company that I really like, and the colors are vibrant, the price is pretty decent. So again, I'll link to everything that I'm using on my website. Right away, you can see that this Betty Crocker icing turns vibrant pink instantly, whereas my homemade buttercream sort of took on a muted color. So I had to add more color to mine, and it's still sort of like a salmon-y coral color versus that electric pink. But now you're going to heat the buttercream in the microwave for just 10 seconds, not anymore. The Betty Crocker icing was instantly drippy and pourable after just those 10 seconds. It's like really perfect consistency instantly. And then my homemade buttercream was sort of like this mixture of melty and lumpy and definitely not pourable. And you can see that it's also slightly grainy, that it like almost wants to break. So I did hit it for just another 5 seconds, and while it is still better, it's still nowhere near as drippy and pourable and fabulous as that canned icing. So I'm going to go ahead and try out both of these icings on this cake, and we can decide together which is the better option. Comment below and let me know what you think about this so far. Have you ever tried the buttercream drip technique, and what do you think about it? And if you haven't, do you think that you will now? So by the way, real quick, the reason why you want your cake to be super cold is so that that warm buttercream drip will sort of set as it runs down your cake and it just doesn't get out of control and run all over the place. And that's really the rule of thumb for any drip cake, not just this one. So as you can see, my homemade buttercream is really thick, and while yeah, it's dripping okay, it's just really thick. Now let's go ahead and do the Betty Crocker canned icing. And okay, like that is definitely some drip, folks. Nice and shiny, vibrant color. It's got really nice long thin drips. So I don't know, I guess you have to decide if you want taste or beauty, because I gotta say that canned icing is not something I really want to be eating. At any rate, I do love this technique. And I don't know, maybe I would still use it just because it does look really beautiful. I don't know. I'm going to have to think more about this. Comment below and let me know what you would do in this predicament. Either way, it's way easier than messing around with white chocolate. So I do hope that you'll try it. Head over to my website to grab all the recipes and the links to everything that I've used today. And I'm not sponsored by any of these products, but thanks to my awesome patrons on Patreon and my pals in PayPal, I am able to continue buying ingredients to test and produce these recipes for you all for free. If you think you can help for as little as 1 cup of coffee a month, click the links below to find out how you can join my Patreon page or a direct link to my PayPal. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy vegan baking. Bye for now.